Cool.
All right. I think we should rehearse an intro and just edit it out or whatever.
You want to do it right now?
Why are you so horny on this intro thing?
Hey, my name is Tyler.
I'm Charlie.
This is Carl.
And this is Occasional Insight Session 0, which would be Episode 0.
That's fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's not fucking rocket surgery.
That's amazing. Just like, do we have anything that you guys wanted to talk about?
Right, I got tons of stuff.
Yes,
yeah,
lots of stuff.
Are you just gonna bring it up?
Yeah, basically.
We've already discussed this. Tyler's the ringmaster of this episode, and then we've already probably Tyler and I talked about this more than you. You're just sort of here, but we kind of talked about this. The plan was that we would have a ringmaster or a master of ceremonies per episode, and that would rotate between the three of us. Pardon me, sorry.
I called it a leader or like an MC or.
Yeah, that sounds way more formal and educated. I like to more think of it as, because really, to me, this is just a ringling fucking circus. So there we are. I like the lamp, Charlie. It's a nice lamp.
I need something. How do you see my lamp? See, this is the thing. I can't see my lamp in my screen.
You're basically in the middle, and then there's a lamp, and then the other part of your couch.
I have to move this. I was fine like that.
Just do whatever you want, man. You're making it sound like people are going to care in the slightest what the background is. The only thing I care about is you cut off the top of your head every 3 goddamn seconds, and it's infuriating to me that you can't center the damn camera on yourself. Tyler's doing it. I'm doing it.
Is it censored right now?
No, your top of your head is missing.
Yeah,
okay, so tell me when it's...
It's
okay.
It's the top of your head's not to the left and right.
Is it like that?
Not too much.
Too much. Down a little bit. Not as much down. That's actually
perfect.
Good.
Nailed it.
Okay. All right. It turns out that it's just centered the same as mine. Like I should have centered.
Why did you think it would be?
It turns out that if I had centered it just for myself, it would have been fine for you guys.
Almost like that's exactly what's in the video frame. Wow.
Okay, so who's starting?
You know that the camera's not going to steal your soul, and you can look directly at it, right?
Okay, let's start. Let's just start.
It won't steal my soul because Ginger, but
you don't have one. Yes, it's fair. That's absolutely fair. Okay, my soul's too fat, just like me. Go on.
Does that mean you're more likely to go to hell because like gravity?
I don't. No. I listen to a lot of Terrence Howard, and gravity's all bullshit. It's magnets and electricity. Carry on.
Okay, so are we recording?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've been recording since I said 3, 2, 1. Fuck you, Charlie.
Okay, cool. So, like, first rule of podcast, you have to introduce yourself. So, like, no matter who is on it, if we ever have a guest or anything like that, we have to introduce ourselves. But I don't know if we have to do that like every episode. So,
you know what? I think we should. Legitimately, I don't think it's a bad thing. Well, I think whoever's the MC of the episodes, I went with your analogy. Yeah, they should kind of introduce to be like, "Hi, it's Tyler, and with me today is Charlie," and then Charlie can say something stupid, and then here's Carl, and I can say something asshole-ish, and then we carry on.
Okay, so basically, like, sound it off, like, hey, welcome back. My name's Tyler. That's Charlie. Carl. Except you guys say your own names. And this is Occasional Insight. Something like that.
I think it sounds.
I think there should be something like that every time, because every podcast I've heard too, they at least say like, "I'm Charlie, I'm Carl."
Okay, so if we're gonna do that, then we need like some sort of rotation. Like if I am the leader or MC or whatever the shit we want to call it today, then Carl, you're next. Charlie, you're after that. And we always go in that order, so on and so forth. We can change it up if we need to, or like if we have.
I like the consistency of it, to be honest.
An interview
I like it always being
or
the same.
Something like that, like a guest star, I guess we'll call it. Okay, cool. So easy enough. We introduce ourselves every single time. I guess we kind of did it already this time, so we won't. Cool. Next question. What kind of podcasts do you guys actually like? Like, I have gone down a deep, dark rabbit hole of podcasts. I think I've listened to like hundreds of them at this point. But I don't really know what you guys listen to, other than I know you both listen to Joe Rogan.
Yes, I have an affinity for Rogan because he's also bald. My main podcasts that I listen to outside of Rogan are probably come down to two. Would be anything Kevin Smith related, just because he's probably one of my favorite directors, and the dude's just funny as shit. And I do listen to a mishmash of hunting podcasts, a lot of outdoor stuff. So I know I actually was introduced to him from a Joe Rogan podcast, but Cameron Haynes is another dude that I listen to a lot. This guy basically runs marathons and hunts. That's what he does, and then does podcasts.
Cool.
He effectively runs 10 miles with with everyone who's on his podcast. They run up a mountain, for Christ's sakes, and then it's part of the thing of being on his show.
Podcast involves physical activity?
No, they do that before.
Okay.
It's just more of a building thing, I guess. I don't know. I could do the rolling down the 10-mile hill, but the running up the part's not so good. But okay. Yeah, and then just some smodge podges, mainly for entertainment, other stuff.
Yeah. Is Kevin Smith Silent Bob?
Yes, Kevin Smith is Silent.
Just making sure. I'm just making sure.
How do I even like you?
I'm Charlie, and I've listened to Joe Rogan, obviously. The Yard. I've listened to some of that. I like them. And then not that many podcasts, to be honest, but every time I hear them, I like them. So figure maybe we'll try and get some.
Every time I hear them, I like them.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, you both like a combination of education, and entertainment podcasts. Then The Yard is definitely I think it's classified as a comedy podcast, but I would call it an entertainment podcast. I know we've talked in the past about an aliens one or a ghosts one or something along those lines, those and the murder mystery ones and all of that. I classify those all as entertainment.
I forgot about that one. I listen to alien theorists theorizing a lot too. That one, it's all UFOs, ghosts. I love that stuff.
Cool. So what kind of podcast do you want to actually do? Because personally, I don't think I have much to bring to the table education wise. And you referenced The Yard, they have very unique lives. Joe Rogan has guests that he brings on that are educational. Do you want to do us just shooting the shit, talking, so on and so forth? I do think that could be pretty entertaining, and I don't think that our demographic, millennial dads, are very well represented in the YouTube sphere right now. At least not in any of the podcasts that I've listened to or encountered. You think in entertainment, or do you want to have guests on? Do you want to do the interview style? Do you even classify interviews as podcasts?
I do an interview. Yeah, I would do an interview one day, but we're entertainment for sure. None of us are experts at anything well enough to start a podcast about it and claim to be experts on it, but we're well versed in a lot of things. We know a little bit of a lot of things. So
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, that is exactly it.
Yeah, definitely, especially the master of none part.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But that's
not a lot of mastery.
We're all dads, and we're all. I mean, technically, we're in different stages of marriage
and dadhood
and fatherhood,
and different stages. Because Carl, you've got your kids are older now, and my kids are a little bit younger than Tyler's. Really.
Fresh.
So it's I don't know. I think if we were to talk for 1,000 years, we'd probably end up talking about being a dad, and
aliens,
playing video games,
video games,
current event, basically anything. We'd end up talking about it. So
I think a lot of it's going to honestly come from trial and error. To be completely blunt, I think we'll find what works for us and what doesn't. And that'll kind of be where we lean. I don't think that I would say I'm a master in any kind of way, shape, or form of really anything. Again, same thing like Charlie said. I've dabbled in a lot of stuff, but don't really, what it is. I have some things that I'm okay at, I guess. But I think the biggest thing, honestly, is like even the idea of an interviews and stuff. I think maybe if there's someone interesting to talk to, it's really going to be more or less what kind of stuff we're griffing about, really. I think it's more so just to kind of go with the flow. And
I'm trying to think who we wouldn't interview. Who would you not interview?
Would I not interview?
Yeah.
I can talk to anyone. I don't really care, if I'm being completely honest.
Interviewing the CEO of YouTube, I've seen tons and tons of podcasts do it. That would just make me nervous, and I don't think it would be a good conversation at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it would be very, very
someone really
turn an interview, like the interviewers, on themselves. So like Colin and Samir, they are famous YouTube interviewers. They interview Mr. Beast, Ludwig, like tons and tons of content creators. I think it would be cool to interview them. Tim Ferriss interviews tons and tons of people. I think it would be cool to interview him. But I also think that interviewing is like an art form, and I have absolutely no idea.
100%.
I kind of feel like I'm interviewing you guys right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, most of it is, I think, when it comes to a good interviewer or a good interview, really comes down to knowing the subject matter you're going to talk to. And obviously that doesn't mean that anyone who does an interview is a scientist or a neuro fucking doctor. I'm an idiot. Neurosurgeon. Jesus. But I think the biggest thing is being able to have enough information, not even necessarily about the subject that you're broaching with the person you're interviewing, but with that person in general. So really one of the biggest things about it is either go in completely blank and ask a lot of questions, or have a very good background in that person's life, so you know their accomplishments, you know where they came from, you know what they've done, you know kind of the direction that they're hoping to put their career, and then really it's a matter that at that point of asking the questions to let that person's mouth run away with themselves, and then they can make something entertaining for you.
How deep do you guys want to be talking about our own lives? How much detail?
I don't know. The reason I say that is like I don't really care about talking about what involves me. But when it comes to my kids and my wife, that's on them to really tell me what they're comfortable with me talking about.
Yeah,
I tend to agree with that. I also don't feel the need to info dump. Like, if you've ever read a story or a book or anything along those lines, and like you get to the first 3 pages or anything, and it's just like, here's the entire history of my fantasy world, 9 out of 10 people are going to stop reading that book.
I am one of those 9.
Yeah, it's not entertaining for the average person.
No.
So
it's like reading Genesis in the Bible. It's awful.
Yeah, exactly. And this guy begot this and this guy.
Yeah, it's not. Again, it's just it's like, all right, we don't. Okay, cool. We got the genealogy. We got it.
So if we look at the podcast the same way, and we just provide all of the information about our lives in one episode or something along those lines, then it takes some of the intrigue out of it.
I definitely don't think we should do that. But what I mean is, like, are we going to tell stories about stuff that happened at work and just like not talk about what our job is at all, or like talk about things that happened in our personal life? Or
personal life's fine if you're willing to share. That's not a problem. It's just your level of share might not be the same as mine or Tyler's. And as far as work goes, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
No. So much interesting stuff happened to me, like, at work, though.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But, oh, absolutely. But nah.
All right.
If we were doing a podcast for work, then we could share stories about work.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares to hear about fucking Halo jumping firefighters anyway. Our job's boring.
Sure.
Well, there you go. You don't know.
Question, podcast-related question. Why and when do you guys listen to podcasts? So, like we already established, you like the entertainment, you like the educational. Do you have like a set time that you listen to podcasts or anything along those lines?
Work.
Definitely not.
It's a good background noise for work.
Long drives and laundry, maybe.
Long drives. Yard work is a big one for me.
Yeah.
So I like, because it's one of the only times where I'm not surrounded by, or not, I shouldn't say not surrounded. It's one of the few times that I'm on my own. So usually it's a good time. Or grocery shopping. I like having a podcast in one earbud while I'm going around doing stuff.
Yeah. See, I don't think I would be able to do that because grocery shopping requires focus. But yeah.
I grocery shop probably weird. So there's not a lot of focus for me. So I use an online list. So we have an app. My wife and I share an app that we're linked to. So when either one of us add an item to the list, it populates on the app. And then the other thing that we've been doing lately in order to stay on budget, because I am a rotund piece of shit and have a tendency to go overboard or buy things that are like, oh, that looks good. So what I've actually done, or my wife also gets annoyed with phone calls of me calling her 3 to 10 times a grocery shop going, what the fuck kind of, not literally, I'm exaggerating for the point of the story. But
okay.
To call my wife, she gets annoyed when I'm calling her. I'm like, okay, well, you said baby wipes. There's 7 different kinds of baby wipes. What do you want? Because if I don't buy the right one, I'm going to hear about it. So what we've actually taken to doing, and it's actually funny, is basically online shopping. I live in a small community, so actually going to the store and doing the online shopping actually a bit of a pain, just because it's days sometimes before you can actually get your order filled. So what we actually been doing is online shopping, and then my wife sends me screenshots of the exact items from the list. So I really don't have to do anything. I just walk around the store, and I know where everything is at this point because I generally do most of the in-store shopping. So I just kind of shut my brain off, listen to a podcast, walk around, and grab a head of lettuce and a box of cereal or whatever, and it's all pretty much laid out for me, man.
So, like, you shop at the same spot every single time?
Yep.
Okay. Do you take the same route in the grocery store every single time?
I feel like I don't want to answer this.
He said he shops weird. So
I do. I actually do. Yes, there's a specific order. If I don't take 100%. The aisles, even if I don't have to go down the aisle, I take the same route in the same aisles because there's it's an odd number of aisles. So if I don't take it the right way, then I don't end up at the last aisle where I need to be. So I have to take it in the same pattern.
Yeah, I do the exact same thing.
Oh, thank God! I thought this was going to be a Carl's an idiot. Look at, he's an OCD moron.
I was.
So you know, you have a
weird. But
dude, 100%.
I always thought I was weird, and then like recently, I have been paying attention to other people.
And you see the same people following the same pattern.
Exactly.
Yes.
If you go grocery shopping at the same time, there is generally like regulars.
Yes,
and I start with fresh fruits and vegetables, whatever.
Produce to begin with, and then work your way through.
Into meat on the outside all the way, and then up and down the aisles until I get to the final aisle, and I do that every single time, regardless. If I don't do it that way,
smart people get it.
Up and I forget something on the list, so on and so forth. I've been watching other people, and so many other people do this at least.
Yes.
But it's
wait,
also,
but what if it's just like, what if it's milk and cheese?
I don't consider that grocery shopping.
That's stopping at a corner store. That's
a stop and go.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. So what if you know you need milk and cheese and like laundry detergent, but you're not sure about anything else? Like you haven't really checked. So that
then I wouldn't be shopping.
Yeah,
because I do that. Like I'll do that route, but only if
I feel like see, that's why you make a list and then you don't forget.
But like, so I just, when I'm walking up the aisles, I look at the product and then I'll be like, I need that. And I'll do that up every aisle.
And that's how I stop. That's how I can't stay on budget, which is why I make a list. I have a budget and I have a route. Well, yeah, you should. I also, I imagine in my mind that your cupboard is full of 7 boxes of the same cereal and you don't have any pickles, which is what you went for.
I'm literally like, my grocery bill's so bad that we're starting a podcast. Did we even do the intro?
Well, not really, but we kind of like
We said
half-assedly did it
names.
and
We should
decided.
do the intro again.
You want to practice well, there's like going to be an episode 2 and an episode 3 and
It'll practice as we go. It's an iterative improvement. It's the same thing as making YouTube videos or doing streams or playing guitar or I was going to say something uncouth, but anyway, it's an iterative improvement.
You don't think we should redo the intro?
I don't think doing an intro 20 minutes in is a fucking great idea. No. This is a great preamble, sure.
It needs to be
an introduction, not a fucking mid-story thing.
So
oh, by the way, my name's Frodo. The fucking whole Lord of the Rings would have been a shit ton different, wouldn't they?
Just to be clear, it's a bad idea. We're not doing
generic ring guy.
We will do it in the future, Charlie. I think at least.
We'll get there. Actually, no, hold on. You actually might have a point. Because we wanted to put in something stupid at the beginning that would be funny. Me telling you you're an idiot for doing the intros and then Tyler doing the intro would be kind of funny to start with.
No, but I think we should all be involved in the intro every single time. So like what I was talking about earlier, where like whoever is the, what did we decide? Leader, MC?
Like the maestro, you know?
Maestro, sure, yeah. Orchestrator, whatever you want to call the person.
The producer.
That's a stretch.
That's the different thing.
But yeah, whoever the MC is will introduce themselves, but we should all introduce ourselves. Like, what's it called? There's a writing podcast that I listen to with like Brandon Sanderson and a couple of other fantasy authors, and they use the same one over and over and over and over and over again. And they're
like
a lot of people do.
Some of them they do it live. Some of them they do like it's pre-recorded, but like they have their introduction down to a T. So it's called Writing Excuses. Trying to remember it off the top of my head, but like they go through all of their names. I'm Brandon. I'm Dan. I'm the other guy's name's Howard.
Do they introduce what the topic is each time, or is it the same?
Kind of. Like they do definitely have topics. It's basically about how to write, like how to write a novel, how to write various different things. But every single episode has a different topic, but sometimes they do revisit the same topics kind of thing. So it would be like theme, and then 10 episodes later it would be like theme 2.0 or so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
But their intro is perfect in my opinion.
Bold statement.
Yeah, it introduces all of them. It does exactly what it needs to do, and it has a catch line, which is 15 minutes long because you're in a hurry and we're not that smart, which is catchy. So like for me, I consider that like it's a perfect intro. It does everything that it needs to do, and they segue directly into the conversation. It's also, I don't think it's on YouTube. I listen to it on Spotify. It's what I do the dishes to every single night. But it is perfect for retention, because if you don't set a good explanation right off the hop as far as podcasts go, I feel like a lot of people are going to bail. Like me personally, I will give a podcast a lot more leeway than like say a Mr. Beast video or something along those lines. If Mr. Beast doesn't hook me in the first 15 seconds, I'm bailing. But if like a podcast or an interview, I'll give that like half an hour of listening to it before I'm like, not for me.
That's impressive.
True.
But that might just be me. Like I don't know.
No, I do the same thing. I think I would do the same thing. Because I remember listening to a couple episodes of podcasts that I didn't like, and there was a couple episodes.
Yeah.
So
I've bounced out on podcasts with about 15-20 minutes, but then I've also went back to the same podcast and listened to other episodes and gave them 15-20 minutes to see if it was just an off episode or just, you know what I mean, I wasn't interested in it at that time kind of thing. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, like it depends on the topic. Like with entertainment, I think everybody is always in the mood to be entertained.
That's true. And what's more entertaining than a fat guy bitching about the grocery store?
Totally, right? And his OCD, or CDO in alphabetical order. Well, like,
you know how many people you just triggered right now? There's at least one person who's going to listen to this in the future that's either going to think, man, that Tyler guy's clever, or he's going to go, fucking asshole.
That guy.
Yeah, because now you're going to put that in his head, and he's always going to do it.
Yep. Putting OCD in alphabetical order is so OCD.
Yeah, totally.
It's not as funny when you have to explain the joke, Charlie.
Yeah, okay. So we've got time, we've got intro, we've got basically our discussions, what we want to talk about. It's a pretty good session 0 so far.
I think so. Like I say, I think as far as time goes, I mean, I think it depends on the conversation. That's what I think it depends on.
I think we should have a semi-rehearsed introduction. Like, I think our intro should be like pretty much, doesn't have to be exact, but it should be pretty much the same thing every single time.
I think you're right, but I don't think it needs to be anything fancy.
No, nothing crazy.
I want a formal dissertation.
Just like, I'm Tyler, I'm Carl, I'm Charlie. Even just that. At least that.
Yeah.
I have full intentions to talk over you every single time you introduce yourself, Charlie.
They're just listening, right? They need to know like who is who, right? If I say Charlie in my voice, they know who Charlie is. If you say Carl in your voice, now if the rest of the time, if I'm like, hey, Carl, like, you know, they know who I'm talking about, right?
True.
So we should do it at the beginning of every episode.
That's something I didn't even consider. So, like, I've been thinking about this as a YouTube thing the entire time.
There's going to be a lot of people that, even on YouTube, they'll just listen to it. Yeah, I've never really watched a podcast. I've always listened.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've never watched one.
Yeah, so like Writing Excuses is one of the only ones that I just listened to, other than Tim Ferriss, but I only listen to Tim Ferriss when it's like a 3-hour car ride because his episodes are normally like 2
Well, that's the thing with the Rogan podcasts, because they're usually an hour and a half to 4 hours. So again, same type of thing. So it's an audio thing. The other thing is I listen to a lot of podcasts that I wouldn't even really, it's kind of hard to call them well, I guess they are, but I listen to a lot of short stories.
Okay.
Especially like horror related short stories. And those I rarely watch because it's usually just an animated background.
Okay, well,
so those are more listened to.
I listen to D&D sessions, and they are definitely, I wouldn't consider them podcasts. At least I'd never considered them podcasts, but they share a lot of the same traits.
See, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know if listening to like a short stories narrated would technically be, but I find them on podcasting sites.
Yeah, but that just basically means that we're going to,
because it's not, they're not on audiobooks. That's
not pander, but I guess account for audio listeners. So like if we're showing each other something, we'll have to describe it, that kind of thing. Something to consider that I didn't even think about until we said.
Yeah, when it's image or video related. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that either. I do have a face for radio, so maybe audio is the way to go.
Cool.
All right. I think we should rehearse an intro and just edit it out or whatever.
You want to do it right now?
Why are you so horny on this intro thing?
No, because it's not.
If you were here 20 minutes early, like Tyler and I, we could have done it then.
Life.
I know. I'm just fucking with you, dude. I'm just fucking you.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's all good, bro.
Okay, let me ask something. How much longer can you guys go here?
9 minutes.
It's very specific. Oh, yeah, you were hard out. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
I know I'm going to be up at 4:30, so yeah.
Okay.
We're at 31 minutes of recording with me swearing at Charlie for like 5 minutes to start, so.
We should definitely, I think that's really important. I think we should actually do an intro right now. Okay. Not for this podcast, just figure it out. Because we have to start it with that. You know what I mean? You just start it. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You're setting the tone.
It has to be. Yeah, I think we need like the same intro every time. I do think that.
For our audio listeners, Carl has fallen asleep.
I'll stop. The sad part is I'm the only.
Face. I have no clue what the fuck was happening. All I saw was like,
oh, that's perfect. That was it.
So, question then: who is going to be the leader or the MC? Well, we're going to go with MC. MC is the term. Who is going to be the MC?
Motorcycle Club. Gotcha.
I thought it was
Master of
Communication.
Master of Ceremonies.
Master of Ceremonies. That was it.
Master of Communication. I love that so much more. Just because I can just imagine you at a ceremony or a formal gathering, and you're like, the Master of Communication is about to speak. Okay, I'll stop.
But yeah, seriously, one of you go. Who wants to do it?
Who wants to be?
I'm staring at Charlie right now. I don't care.
Or do you guys want me to be the MC every single time? Because I have
no. I'll MC next time. I'll MC next time.
Okay, cool. So that is our order: me, Charlie, Carl. So every single time it will go me, Charlie, Carl, over and over and over again. So when we do the intro, whoever is doing the MC that week will start it off. So like this week, I will say, "Hey, my name's Tyler," and so on and so forth. You then say Charlie. You say Carl. That's our order over and over and over again. If it changes, so like Charlie is the MC, then Carl, then me, so on and so forth. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool.
Are you sure you got that, Charlie? Your face is not saying that you understand that at all.
You always follow me unless you're the leader, and Carl always comes after you.
That's what. Okay. So it always goes. When I'm the MC, it goes me, then Carl, then you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it always goes you, me, Carl.
Exactly.
Wow! Like exactly what he said.
Okay.
So what's the intro going to be? Let's do the intro. We have to do the intro. Not for
you're the MC next week, so we're waiting.
So I'm the MC this week.
That's fair.
So I'm going to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to do like, my name's Tyler. This is Charlie, Carl, so on and so forth. And then it will come back to me, and I will say, this is session. Or do we want to do the podcast name or the title of the video? Probably the podcast name.
Yeah. Both, maybe.
Yeah. You should just be like, just be like.
I would say the name.
Tyler, this is Occasional Insight.
Episode, and then trip over the episode every time because it's funnier that way.
Or don't even say my name's Tyler. Say, hey, you're listening to Occasional Insight. This is episode 0. My name's Tyler. And then,
And then you would talk.
I think we lead with our names.
You want to lead with the name?
Yeah. So, like, okay, we'll do it. Ready?
Yeah.
Carl, you ready?
Let's do this.
Got you, son.
Hey, my name is Tyler.
I'm Charlie.
This is Carl.
And this is Occasional Insight Session 0, which would be episode 0.
That's fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's not fucking rocket surgery.
That's amazing.
I love how Charlie is fucking wowed, and Tyler and I are angry that we're doing it.
Yeah. But
well, angry is excessive.
Every single time.
I like it.
But
it changed.
That means we have to know what our topic is or our title is every single time. So like this is session 0, which is us just figuring shit out, which for those of you that don't know, session 0.
We could literally just go with a number. We don't necessarily need a naming convention.
Right now, 0 is good.
I kind of like
session 0 has that
weekly topic though.
What?
I kind of like the idea of a weekly
topic.
Like,
do you want to have just the... Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that to be fair, that's on the MC. Because the MC of the week is going to be the one who's going to fucking try and corral this stable of raw stallions and keep us all on fucking track.
But do you have to? Like, do you have to steer the conversation?
What I'm saying is it puts the onus on one person specific. I don't mean to steer the conversation necessarily. But I meant to bring the topic of the day, to ask the questions like you did at the start. You asked us questions about what we podcasts we listen to, what we think makes a good podcast, where we want to go with this, and how long the episodes are going to be, so on and so forth. So I think that's what it should be. So now if Charlie's going to be taking the reins next week, then I think that not that he needs to control the whole conversation. I think we should all have our own points to talk about or things to go. But I think that initial question or that kickoff to the episode is on the person who's emceeing that week. So now Charlie brings in whatever topic he's going to bring to the conversation. Holy shit, guys, did you see that in Mexico there's a bunch of chupacabras that are actually aliens? And then you and I will go, what the fuck are you talking about? And then there we go. And then there's the episode. But then we talk about that till it starts to run dry. And then one of us then picks up, even keeping the same cadence. Then it would be my turn. And then you would end the show out with your insight. Your last topic would be Tyler's topic, plus the insight for the week. And then see you later. And then the following week, I would lead off the conversation. Then Tyler would be in the middle. Charlie would be...
We're going to have an insight for the week? Is that what you want to do?
You don't read. The fuck. Why won't it read, Charlie?
Yes, so that was in the group chat.
That was one of our ideas that we had, is it to have something that's mildly entertaining or slightly insightful, or again, it occasionally will be insightful. So like I made the joke in the chat. I made the joke in the chat that the only time will be once every 3 weeks when Tyler says something insightful.
Is it the Telegram or the Discord?
We should probably pick one, by the way, not do Telegram. And
where was that? Was that in the Telegram or the Discord?
Yeah, Telegram. It would have been. Well, we started with Discord, then we switched to Telegram, then realized that Telegram's video quality is that of my dog's asshole, and then we went back to Discord. That means bad.
Well, why would you go back to Discord? Telegram has such good video quality.
I hate. Look, even the dog's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And
the dog and him have the same name.
That's the other thing. Like,
yeah,
I need to know
that's also true.
I need to know what we're allowed to talk about because like okay, like even simple.
What are you, the fucking cops? There's no fucking rules.
No, but like, can I say?
Okay, there are rules actually. Let me read.
Your dog's name is the same as my name. Like,
yes.
Is that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean? But yeah,
like,
I don't think my dog has feelings. He doesn't give a shit. He's on camera right now, and he's yawning. He's bored with you too.
When you said you're gonna leave it to the other person, do you mean like what? Like we have the person. If you're gonna talk about someone else's life, they have to already have mentioned it in the podcast prior.
Or if you're going to ask me specifically about something, well, no, I think. So the point is that I'm not going to be like Tyler's child's name. Has they done this yet? Has they done this? I didn't even want to say what your kids are, boys or girls. But that's my point, is that I don't want to bring in any conversation about Tyler's 1 or 17 children. He gets around. This guy can't throw a rock in a schoolyard. Look at that handsome son of a bitch. You know it's true. But my point But my point though is that I don't, so if it's about me and you're like, hey, you're fat and you like outdoor things, eating food because you're fat, and you also enjoy playing video games because you're a fucking giant bald child, that's fine. Right?
Yeah, but that's not me. That's different from me saying like, oh, your dog's name is the same as my name.
Well, my dog doesn't necessarily count. Are you going to be offended if I talk about your cat?
A little bit.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was going to be the case.
Yeah.
Like a little. So I think when I say the rules thing is it's just, I don't feel the necessity to bring the activities of my children and my significant other into this unless they want to be part of it. Now saying, hey, Carl, you have a...
Well, I mean, like, just even little things, like just little stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, like, Tyler, you said you're writing a book. Like, do you not want to talk about that?
All right, no, I'm cool with talking about that. Like, so this is the way I look at it. We are basically, the three of us in here are choosing to put ourselves on the internet, which
100%.
is a strange and dangerous place.
Yes.
Yeah,
our families are not making that choice.
That's exactly it.
Going to make that choice for them.
That's right. If my children, one of my kids, want to be on the podcast in the future or want to do something like that, and we're all cool with it, then I'm fine with it. But that's on if they're fine, if they want to do that at a point in their life. I'm not gonna Like the dog, he doesn't have a choice. He just never. What are you doing? He never leaves, so he's always here.
Okay. So then this is session 0.
Correct.
Next week, do we have like a session topic?
Well, that's.
No. But
did I not literally just talk about that?
We can talk about it now, though. I know it's my like decision, but like, how insightful is this shit going to be? Like, is it going to be like
occasionally? We've fucking established that in the title.
But if we're gonna have a weekly insight, like, what's it gonna? Is it gonna be like the Jerry Springer final thought, where it's all like? Deep?
Oh my lord, no! Yes, actually, yes. For you, yes. Every time, every week. I want you to commit only you. You have to do it every week, and it needs to be something amazing. You need to bring it up on the spot about the shit we talked about with no preamble whatsoever beforehand.
On the spot.
On the spot, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, guess what, dude? At that time is literally 2 minutes ago. Take it away, Charlie.
What?
Give us an insight.
Right now, brah.
Fuck. All right. Well, the insight is, sometimes you got to go into the unknown.
That's your insight.
That's actually insightful. You know what? I just nailed down what the first 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds of every podcast should be.
Yeah.
The insight for the week.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. The insight for. We're gonna say the insight for the week before the podcast starts.
Yeah.
We could. Yeah. There's gonna be something before the title screen intro thing that you guys have pissed me off about roles.
Okay, so let me get this down. Every episode starts with the MC.
What is the order? What's the order? How does it actually go, Charlie? Do you remember?
Well, if it's quiz. Me, it's going to go me, you, Tyler.
Very good. And if it's me?
It's going to go you, Tyler, me.
Nice. Good. Quick pro quo, and he passed.
I set the bar low. You guys are now
Will he remember that tomorrow?
Yeah, oh yeah. No,
Charlie, what do you do? Charlie, hello. Not you, the dog, as you've made alluded to. My dog is named after you. That's actually named after you because he's smarter and better to be around.
Jesus, man.
Would you rather hang out with your cat or me? Be real.
Carl drank his haterade before the episode.
Yeah,
I'd rather chill with you, I think. Legit.
Now, would you rather chill with me or with my dog?
Depends what we're doing.
I don't know. That one's hard because I haven't met your dog, and every time I've seen him, he's been like really, really sick. Like, I mean, like ill. No, I mean like.
Fucking damn it.
He looks like he's having a good time. So
that's why everybody under the age of 30 just stopped watching.
100%. 100%.
We're gonna edit this part out anyway. This is session 0. Fuck, this is garbage anyway. We're just trying to feel it out. No, but
that is the best thing you said today. Is that this entire thing today is just dog shit and garbage, as we're just figuring it out.
That is exactly what it is. But that's also the unknown part. It's not only us being on the internet, which is like a scary thing, like you said.
It's also a scary place. I didn't say it was a scary thing.
It's a scary place. Yeah, it is.
This isn't my first or Tyler's first foray into being a public figure on the internet.
But it's also into the unknown because of like us doing a fucking podcast together. Like,
true.
You know,
we're
basically taking steps in the dark and like hoping that there's ground there. You know,
that's accurate.
Okay, well, I'm out of time.
All right, man.
All right.
Well, good stuff, gentlemen.